the world crumbled, they built me an Olympic temple. But this isn't what you think it is, I didn't get it simple. Before the earth started corroding, I wrote rhymes scripted with untwisted cryptic riddles. Thought I was gonna marry the rap game for all the splendid pay, but after the apocalypse, I decided to disengage. Even the wealthiest upper-class celebrities become refugees. No more cops, laws, armies, or firefighters to come and rescue me. Nobody knows how the tragedy actually happened and the truth becomes stretched. Not many survived, bitch. It's the opposite of alright, cause there's none left. No airports left, yet my closest friends made a departure. When bullets take flight, you don't want me as a rival. I begin to sink in new rhymes on parchment paper to start the hip-hop Bible. Teachings of the former legends that paved the way for us. But to translate it into universal writing would have taken days because the lack of resources mean that recipes for survival are needed before the remaining papers rust. Society wants me to tell them what happened. They know not about Earth's continents. How is it that I remember it all and they lack their common sense? Everyone's panicking and attacking others without a purpose. How can I teach these people that the only threat we have is each other without causing an appalling disturbance? So I made raps about peace and unity and put myself as the sole proprietor. Severe weather conditions put all of us on high alert. If there's one thing about humans, it's that when we are at our weakest, we can only become mightier. No longer in existence is there any electricity, gasoline, or any automatic firearms left. Mostly medieval clothing, gear, weapons, and horses people try and harness. People whose profession is to find boots have a fighter's edge and are considered veterans. They find your possessions and they put their timberlands on your tender limbs. I mastered every fighting technique, so my number one spot, you won't knock it from me. Trying to commence a battle for a victory, you will not get from me. Every anarchist heathen defeated after I don't leave him breathin', I retrieve the weapon and sheathe it. Single-handedly protect every village I scarcely witness being very threatened. So it's either hide from the murderous thieves wherever and cherish my lesson, or accept my training, join my legion when prepared to carry a weapon. But it's hard not to think of a place where to bury your friends in, when the lack of medical science to spare means we can't spare a pair-of-paramedics. I can only heal minor cuts and bruises on the injured innocent people, but most outlaws that come about cause contusions to the survivors in the depot. All gathered at once to take over the new world and make mayhem for everyone. Their whole evil allegiance is here to murder me because I'm their only threat that ever won. The army of non-believers rushed me from the backside and thrusted his dagger, but I caught it between my hands. Twisted the timid instrument out and into a different target seen in my path. Everyone rushes to kill me, I'm outnumbered by the most dangerous odds. Spotted an arrow rippling through the air slow, so I doubled the way they're unstopped. Hurtled a small boulder over the horse's shoulder, broke his shoulder, now I'm closer to the one spot. The dark shadows of the trees was my plan of outmaneuvering the vast amount of well-rounded bounty hunters. I threw a fake jab and knew he'd take that from a crudely laid trap, so I pounded him dourly upward. I shoved many enemies and made great plays to try to gain space, but around me clustered knives thrown at me, so I twisted my body to avoid impalement of my armor's chest plate. Next guy charged a spear at me, last second dodge, I acquired it to put him in checkmate. By kicking him down while holding the wooden end, it then stayed strong while he let it go, but it wouldn't end without my next play. Both of our steel blades made sparks fly, I couldn't cut his gloves grip from the velcro, so a rapidly followed up with a knockout coming from my elbow. Next was a brute with a heavy axe using all the strength to make it drop. Somersaulted forward and held the axe from the bottom during mid-flop. The center of gravity allowed me to gradually subdue the knight's swift chop. My flurry bashed the shield away from a higher angle quickly, then lateraled it toward the fighter hiding in the shadows, trying to throw moves rapidly and correctly without getting over fatigue surviving from the battles. Face one while I threw a punch in the direction towards my back to corner attack the bigger threat who wasn't ready to absorb a quick jab. Stepped in his jaw while the momentum allowed me the big chance. It's a mind game, and although I've demolished many of the attackers, I know I'm outnumbered. I'm feeling weak and soon I'll die, I'm doomed if I get over encumbered. So I led the army of betrayers to the bridge in the valley, knowing that my fighting chances are better when I'm cornered one-sided in the middle of an alley. The bridge is a dead end, with me on one side fending for the freedom of Earth's good members. Knowing that I may not win, I had contemplated what route of fighting would look better. The only way to save the good people who are defenseless without me on this planet was to wait for all the killers to try and surround me, thinking I'll be slain from their damage. Then they all got close enough, so I chucked my last hammer and it broke up the latches. So the whole bridge with me and the evil people on it collapses. I took my own life along with the betrayers to keep the good-hearted survivors safe. Remember what I did for the new world to help you all make it to a higher place by becoming the one smart enough to avoid extinction of the entire race. By becoming the one smart enough to avoid extinction of the entire race. Of the entire race. Of the entire race. Of the entire race.